Good afternoon, crystal collectors. My name's Jason. I've been to a couple of events, and with the last couple Magnet Cove events coming up, I want to encourage people to get out and go do a little digging at this event because it is some incredible material. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff I've found. I've only been there twice. The only thing I used to dig stuff was, I think I used a like a three pronged garden rake, and then I also had a classifier from gold digging. The first time, the second time I did not bring it, and I wish I had. A screwdriver with something covering the tip so that you don't ruin crystal points is also deer antler is also another good one. All of these should be pretty good for digging this material. It wasn't super hard to dig into the ground. The brookites do range in quite different sizes. This guy here is about the size of a dime. I do have it zoomed in a little bit, so don't think it's too big. This is a little smaller than a dime, but this is a pretty good sized chunky brookite. And they get down to big size all the way down to tinies. The main thing I look for when I'm digging in the ground is this shape, this square shape, and it'll be covered in mud. You won't see most of this until you get home and clean it, but that'll help you get a bunch of that stuff. Pardon my stuffy nose. I live in Minnesota and it's -20 today. I have a bunch of pieces, so I'll go through them kind of quick, and I'm going to include pictures afterwards as well. They'll be in order that you're seeing them here. So this is a pretty good chunky, and I think this is like multiple pieces because this is a weird growth. But you can see there's some iridescence, some real cool growth. It's on. Ooh, too far. Sorry about that, guys. It's on small quartz growth, like you can see the little itty bitty quartz crystals that it grew on. Pretty cool little piece. This is another nice brookite crystal growing on some real cool, like big pieces, and then it gets into some small growths. Apologize for the minorly crappy filming. I'm an amateur. You can see there's some real pretty small quartz crystal growth on here. I gotta keep this shorter. We're gonna be here for 30 minutes. This is a cool one. This is gonna be hard for me to. So it's a double terminated piece of quartz with 3 brookites growing on it. Maybe 4. I don't know if I'd consider that a 4 or not, but. There you go, a little easier to see. Nice double terminated. It's actually a double terminated on a double terminated, but this is one of my favorite little pieces. Come on. Beautiful brookite growth structure. Big piece. And this guy's a nice big double terminated with a bunch of little guys on it. This one looks like a castle that's holding a treasure to me. Some nice smoky points growing up. A bunch of small ones growing off the side. And then a nice big brookite sitting nestled in, almost like a dragon egg with a little bit of iridescence on it. You can see the little bit of blue. Another real big, like that's, compared to a dime, that's a pretty good size. Real beautiful growth structure. Tiny bit of iridescence at the tip. Double terminated. I don't know what the white coating is on this. I've been trying to figure out ways to remove it. And it seems like the only way to remove it is via a metal pick, which can obviously damage crystals. Like we've tried muriatic acid, and muriatic did nothing to it. So we either need a harder acid or just accept it. So this is a cool guy. He's got big double terminated point, bunch of little growths on there, and then a nice big brookite down there. I'm trying not to sniffle on the video, guys. I apologize. I love these pieces where brookite grows on quartz and then quartz grows on brookite. It feels like, hey, quartz is mad that the brookite's growing on it, so it's going to grow on the brookite. Real pretty growth structure. And like I said, I've got pictures of all these that I'll include so that you can see decent little pictures. This is one of my favorite pieces that turned out surprisingly good if I could zoom it properly. This was all covered in dirt, and it's, if you see this, all those little tiny sparkles, those are all brookites on here. See if we can do that. Get a... No. And it's on the other end too. But both ends actually terminate. So it's just real cool. When this brookite starts to grow, I think it just starts using the oxygen that quartz would normally use to form. And that's how it has that mottled look. This is another really cool little piece. I thought was just a couple tiny pieces on it, and then I cleaned it up in there. It's just all those, and I want to move it because their sparkle is insane in person, but it's not catching it on camera. But you can see this is a really cool little piece. Got hundreds and hundreds of tiny little pieces on it. And this isn't a big guy. This is probably an inch by inch piece. It's not a huge piece by any means, but it's a nice little piece. On to the real cool ones. Now keep in mind, this is probably about 10% of my collection from 2 days. So I got this guy the last time I went, the second time I went. And this is a real nice point at the top. Brookite there. There's another one up here. Cool little crystal caves. This one's cool. And then the bottom kind of crystallizes off. Ooh, that was a bit bright. I apologize, folks. There we go. We can try to capture some of the smoky look without blinding you. This is one of my really nice, just really clear smokies. It does have a phantom when they have a light source behind it, but as we just saw, I blinded you trying to do that. I apologize. But this is one of my pretty nice points. No brookite on that one or this one, but both are really nice big points. Tiny bit of fracture here, but well, it's almost, there's a little bit of quartz growing on the tip here, so it's not actually damaged, it's just quartz growth. Grows really weird at the bottom too, like it gets this weird flat, must be coming up between two other points. And then now we're getting into my top favorite ones. This little guy started as a ball of clay. I cleaned off the clay, and I'm now down to the limonite and the quartz. The only thing I did to get down to this point was water, an electric toothbrush, and some toothpicks. When you get to a point where the only thing that's getting removed is tiny little bits of dirt, like that you see here, and it's really hard to remove, that is most likely limonite. The way that we remove it is a dip in muriatic acid. We can do another video of talking about that if need be, but do not use muriatic acid if you do not understand how acids work, things like that. It is dangerous enough that you can get hurt by it. It's relatively safe as far as acids go, but you can still get hurt by it if you're not safe. But we could do another video about that. And then we get into the big honker. This thing covers my whole hand. It's super thick. And I want somebody to carve it. I am looking for a gem carver to be able to carve it. And then I got this again. I got this the last time I went. Nice, really big guy. Let's zoom out a little bit. Nice, really big guy. A little extra point. Unfortunately, no brookite, but still really nice guy for my collection. And then my two favorite pieces. Again, this is another one that was a ball of clay when I started. And look at how incredible this piece has been coming out. I am down to the point that the only stuff that's coming off is very thin layers of limonite. It's even got a cool little crystal cave in there. So unfortunately I have to wait until it warms up because acid does not work in negative 20-degree weather. Well, it does. It's just incredibly slow. I think it actually can freeze at that cold. I don't remember the exact temperatures, but it's definitely not useful to use. So coming up next month, I will post pics of what this looks like updated. I am a little nervous because removing this limonite may break pieces off of this that are being held together by limonite. That is one of the flaws with, I don't know if you call it a flaw, but one of the dangers with removing limonite is that when you remove them, some pieces are being held on by that limonite. I cleaned a really big piece, or no, a really small piece. Here it is, actually. This little piece here that's got all these brookites on it and stuff like that. This guy was covered with a 1/2-inch thick layer of limonite, and I got probably 2 to 3 dozen pieces, almost as big as these octahedrals you're seeing here, that fell off of it because they were just attached via the limonite. So just be aware, using limonite may have some effects that you may not necessarily like right away. Most of the time it does make the piece better, but if you're not careful, you may lose a piece that you like, or a part of a piece you like. I'm sorry, not the whole piece. Either way, this is probably my favorite piece of my digs so far. This one might be as well. You guys probably already saw this. I did post this in the group before, but I thought maybe a little bit on video would be kind of cool because it's just got this beautiful smoky quartz side here. Couple, and these are chunky brookites. They're not small brookites by any means. Like every single one of them has that green blue iridescence, or excuse me, purple blue green iridescence. And this face that you're seeing here is actually a whole, if I can get the light right, you can see that it's hundreds of micro faces. Except right there, that this side is broken. Micro faces. See, you can see the light play across all the faces at the same time. That's the etched growth on this stuff. And I think that's as a result of the brookite growing. But this is one of my favorite pieces. Absolutely stunning. Just a trail of beautiful brookites, perfectly formed on a beautiful piece of smoky. This is it. This is now in my personal private collection. As will probably this next piece be, and the piece before the one I just showed you is. Those 3 pieces are my favorites. This piece here started as one piece. It's gonna go black for a sec. Sorry, I gotta get this held right. It was another piece that was covered in clay. So if you think there's nothing under these clay pieces, you're probably wrong, because there is things like this. Now this is in my hand. It's probably 6 inches long by 3 inches wide. You can see that there is a crack down the middle. It was lightly there initially. I have them together right now to show you that one of the cool features, come on, zoom in, is that brookite right in the middle of the screen there that's split right in half. That is a natural split that had happened. I found the piece, and with a little bit of light pressure, the natural crack split the piece the rest of the way in half, and it now looks like this. Ooh, that was a bright flash. A bunch of brookites on it. It's a little bit of iridescence on some of them. Real nice, pretty quartz crystals. Again, I'm down to the limonite. Cool little mini pocket cave on the side. You can see how far down. This is actually kind of cool. Below this line here, there used to be about down to where my thumb is now, a layer of sandstone. You can see how far down the quartz permeated the sandstone to harden it enough for it to form. So I assume that the layer was more like right here, and this is from falling down over time as the water dripped through the top, things like that. But again, this is at the point where I'm ready for limonite, and I'm a little nervous that like this chunk here may fall off in the limonite. But we're probably gonna go at it with the limonite. The other half is definitely the far better half. Lots of good brookites all over the piece. Lots of really nice smoky crystals, and you can shine a light through it. And again, I really like this piece because it does give you kind of a glimpse into how pieces can form. The sides are perfectly flat, so the split happened millions of years ago, but they still fit together perfectly. So yeah, if you're even considering going or not, I cannot speak highly enough of the location. The people are absolutely amazing people, lots of fun to dig with. I've had absolute blast all 3 times I've gone to Crystal Collector events, and I've come back with stunning pieces each and every time. So if you're debating whether or not to go, don't debate anymore. Go, 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 go. I hope to see you guys there. I will probably be there March 1st, the encore dig. So I gotta get one more dig in before they end their contract, because this is some real pretty stuff. Hope to see you guys there.